From the triangle to the coast, we're all in this together. For the duration of the hurricane warning, we will update where the storm is live at the top of every hour. No matter where you live, we're with you. WRAL News, coverage you can count on. Lawmakers are back at work, and the first day of the legislative session kicked off with a bang. We are following breaking news tonight. WRAL has just learned Durham District Attorney Tracy Klein has been suspended. And Wake County continues to seek the death penalty in certain cases. Interesting developments. Renee Chu at the RDU Airport. Thanks, Renee. He sat down with me exclusively to talk about his life as he starts another incredible year. Maybe a lot of other people just holding my breath because I was like, they only need 2. Why is he taking the 3? And then you see the light go on the backboard. Breaking news right now on WRAL. The NCAA hands down penalties against UNC, including a postseason ban, scholarships lost, and probation. This all comes down nearly 2 years after the investigation into the UNC football program began. Good evening, everyone. I'm Debra Morgan here live on the UNC campus at Keenan Stadium. We are going to have team coverage of the NCAA decision. Brown says she hung up with the 911 operators when the suspects got close to her. When the 911 center called back, that's when the men fled. If you have any information, you're asked to give Rocky Mount Police a call. Children of division employees getting high-paying jobs that were not advertised.
Disciplinary action has been taken.
Some of the problems, though, like we experienced during Floyd, was there's so much rain inland that then that fills up the rivers that are going down to that area. The Neuse River and the Tar River empty out into those sounds, and then that brings up the water level again. So definitely, it could be a whole week before they know the true impact.
We begin tonight with a compromise on one of the more controversial aspects of the president's health care plan. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Crabtree.
And I'm Debra Morgan. Religious institutions will not have to pay for contraception coverage, but women who work for those organizations will be able to obtain it for free. Randall Pinkston reports Catholic leaders say it's too soon to tell whether the compromise addresses their real concerns. Most insurance plans will cover women's preventative services by August 1st. The changes for religious employers take effect in August of 2013. The head of the nation's Roman Catholic bishops calls today's compromise a good first step, but he will reserve his judgment until more details of the plan have been released. This afternoon, WRAL's Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie spoke with the bishop who serves all of eastern North Carolina. Coming up tonight at 6, find out where he stands on today's developments. And we want to know what you think, too. We've received more than 425 comments on this issue on our homepage on WRAL.com. A small sample of what you've had to say. Delano in Raleigh says, very simple solution. If the religious institutions don't want to follow the rules, cut off all federal funding for them. Ann in Oxford says, when the church catches fire, let them put it out and don't use my tax dollars to do so if they are exempt from taxes. Quite a debate is raging on the subject in our comment section of WRAL.com. 4 Cary schools spent some of the afternoon on a partial lockdown. Middle Creek High, Middle Creek Elementary, Westlake Middle, and Westlake Elementary took the precaution. A woman living nearby told police a man in a mask knocked on her door, then ran when her dog began barking. The schools went on code yellow until 1 p.m. That means no one can enter or leave, but classes and activities go on as scheduled. A suspect was never caught. Some tense moments for shoppers this afternoon after an SUV plowed through a store. A viewer sent us this picture of the damage after the SUV drove straight through the front window of Furnish 123. That's near the streets at South Point in Durham. No one was hurt. Police say the vehicle's floor mat became tangled with the accelerator and the brake, and that the driver could not stop. Well, it is the second time Jason Young is on trial for the 2006 murder of his pregnant wife, Michelle Young.
Coverage you can count on.
Love is in the air, hopefully all the time, but we know it will be on Tuesday of next week. That's Valentine's. And if you're thinking, oh no, what do I do? Dinner is always a nice option.
5 on your sides. Monica LaLiberty got some suggestions for romantic places from her Facebook fans. And here is how some of their picks stacked up.
Well, all right, and I'm sure you're absolutely prepared for Tuesday.
As of today, semi, yes.
You have the whole weekend to go, so you're
exactly.
all right.
That's right.
Music's biggest night's coming up this weekend. The Grammys are Sunday night, and the broadcast event promises much more than just awards and acceptance speeches.
The Gad Shaban has been sitting in on rehearsals and shows us a preview of the big moments in the works. Looks like it's going to be a great show. Nominees in 3 big categories have ties to the triangle. The band Bon Iver has the song Holocene nominated for both Record of the Year and Song of the Year. Their frontman Justin Vernon used to call Raleigh home. Bon Iver is also up for Best New Artist as well. They have a little local competition in that category. Rapper and producer J. Cole, he's also up for that award, and he's a Fayetteville native. Root on the hometown acts and watch the performances live. The Grammys air Sunday night at 9 right here on WRAL. Then join us on WRAL's Morning News on Monday to hear veteran news producer John Plymail's take on how the awards shook out.
The first Battle of the Blues of the season ends with a bang.
Duke and Carolina, 2 top 10 teams in arguably the most heated rivalry in all of sports. This game goes down to the final buzzer. You just watched it, an instant classic, and just exactly what this Duke-Carolina rivalry is all about.
The Blue Devils overcome a double-digit second-half lead to beat Carolina 85-84. What a game. Even if you're not a basketball fan, what do you say about this?
Incredible.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Right now, we're waiting to hear from the players and the coaches about tonight's amazing game.
Yeah, once they calm down, we will bring you live reaction throughout the next half hour, along with our live reports from our crews on the ground in Chapel Hill and Durham. Well, now we're going to take you to a much different atmosphere on Duke's campus. Don't you know that Krzyzewskiville erupted when Austin Rivers hit that 3-point shot at the buzzer? It was an incredible ending, and there they are, everybody gathering on the Duke campus. The students are coming in from everywhere. Now, they weren't supposed to burn anything. They did not have a burn permit because it was not a home game for Duke. So they're not supposed to burn anything, but you know that we will be keeping an eye on this. Sky 5 will stay high above as the fans celebrate at Duke. Right, Gerald. Even though the school board race is supposed to be nonpartisan, both the Democratic and Republican parties were heavily involved in this year's race, and it was a huge night for candidates backed by the Democrats. Let's start with District 3. That is the one district not decided yet. Incumbent Kevin Hill ends the night with 49.7% of the vote. Our numbers round up to 50, but he is just shy of the 50% needed to win the seat outright. Challenger Heather Lasordo has told us tonight that she will request a runoff. Incumbent Keith Sutton easily wins District 4 and retains his seat. District 5 is the seat currently held by Ann McLaurin, who decided not to run. Jim Martin easily wins. In the District 6 seat, Carolyn Morrison also decided not to run. Christine Kushner wins there easily. And now District 8. This is Chairman Ron Margiotta's seat. He loses to accountant Susan Evans. Over the past 2 years, Margiotta has led a conservative majority committed to changing the school assignment policy, a move that has sparked much debate and protest. So let's take a look at the balance of power now. This is how the night began, with 4 seats not in contention, with the conservative majority needing just 1 seat to retain control. However, tonight, in 4 of these districts, the candidates supported by the Democratic Party won. So that's why this District 3 seat is so critical. It will determine which direction the school board will take. That runoff likely to take place in November, Gerald. We have learned more today about 2 men accused of killing a retired Orange County deputy and his friend during a robbery. According to court documents, the suspects were at the scene of the crime when deputies arrived. WRAL's Aaron Hartness spoke to family members who say at least one of the suspects knew the former deputy. Both suspects are being held in Central Prison in Raleigh for their own safety since the crime involved a retired deputy. Prosecutors have not decided yet whether to seek the death penalty in either case. A tractor-trailer accident in Wake County this morning shut down the road for 5 hours. Sky 5 flew over the scene. The truck spilled fuel on New Hill Holloman Road at US 1 about 9:30 this morning. Police have not reported any injuries. New Hill Holloman Road was closed until mid-afternoon. The North Carolina Association of Educators says it is losing a true champion. The group says Purdue fought for higher teacher pay and early childhood programs. Last week, Purdue proposed increasing the sales tax by 3/4 cent to help schools. Republican lawmakers accused her of playing politics. Brian Lewis says the NCAE will invite each new candidate for governor to speak with educators, and members will decide which candidate the organization should endorse. North Carolina Democrats officially kick off their campaign season tomorrow. The buzz will no doubt be about who's running for governor. The big question, will Governor Perdue be there? Party members meet tomorrow night in Greensboro for the Sanford Hunt Fry Dinner. You can count on WRAL's Bruce Mildwer for live coverage. Perdue is on the agenda to announce the keynote speaker. Coming up, an American woman freed after 3 months as a hostage. In 3 minutes, the way she's making it through the slow process to transition back to daily life.
And new at 6 o'clock.
He's a miracle. People don't believe in miracles. There he is.
No one thought he would make it to his 9th birthday, but there he is, a 9-year-old boy on the go again after a bus stop accident nearly stopped it all.
The American aid worker Navy SEALs freed in Somalia is with U.S. officials for another day in Italy.
Gerald Owens explains she's undergoing a process to help her deal with the trauma of 3 months in captivity. Buchanan was working for the Danish Refugee Council in a region of Somalia that's not easily accessible for most aid organizations. Well, what a day we had weather-wise.
Oh
the storms this morning and then the brilliant sunshine this afternoon.
Yeah. Did you hear thunder this morning? Because I
never heard
slept
thunder.
Right through it.
No, just saw the rain.
And a lot of wind.
Lots of rain and wind.
A lot of wind.
I had a couple of things blow down in my backyard. Yeah, it's a little bit of cleaning up.
It's like June and January.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. 69 for our high again today. What a great winter if you like it warm.
Yeah.
But we'll track,
and sunny.
And we'll look for some cold air coming up the next half hour.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mike.
WRAL's 5 on your side. Coverage you can count on.
And here we go. It's another trip back to the 80s in this week's Restaurant Sanitation Report.
Live roaches, one of the finds. 5 on your side's Monica LaLiberty shows us what inspectors found and where.
Thanks, Gerald and Jackie. This is great out here. It's snowing.
It's still snowing, yep.
I love it. I love it. It really feels festive. Not a cloud in the sky, and it's still able to snow. So it's perfect. We are joined by a big crowd here to watch the tower lighting. We're just a couple of minutes away now.
Really hard to believe this is the 52nd time that that we've done this at the station. Of course, you and I haven't been here for all of them, but
quite a few.
Yes, exactly. And it's just a couple of minutes away, and this is Capital Broadcasting's gift. It really is to the community, and this is something you can see for miles around. So even if you're not here tonight to take in the festivities, you'll have a chance to enjoy it for many, many weeks to come.
And we're going to talk a little bit about the history, and for that we have to go back to the 1960s. This was the vision of A.J. Fletcher, and every December Mr. Fletcher, the founder of Capital Broadcasting Company, read A Christmas Story to viewers, and we're still using our tower to brighten the holidays. If you're wondering, yes, the lights stay on the tower all year long, and for more than 50 years they have always turned on. So we hope to keep that streak alive, and the tower will shine brightly through New Year's Day. When we come back, Greg and I will flip the switch. Are you ready?
I am.
Very excited about that, so stay with us. We are just seconds away now from our annual tradition. This is just so much fun, year after year, a gift to the community.
And there's electricity in the air.
Yes, look at that.
Yes, exactly.
Amongst the
So, all right.
snowflakes.
8,
Here we go.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Light it up.
Light it up. Oh, look at that. It is gorgeous. 52
Fantastic.
years of lighting the WRAL tower.
3,000 bulbs up there
disappoints.
going strong.
It
Absolutely.
looks beautiful.
No excuse not to get out and come down near RAL and see these lights over the next week.
And you don't have any snowflakes in your forecast, yet it's still snowing.
I know. You know, I've always thought about that. People say, well, can't you change the weather? And I said, if I had that much power, you'd all be in a heap of trouble.
Well, it certainly is beautiful, and we are so enjoying ourselves. Look at the WRAL tower lit up again. I hear people honking on Western Boulevard. We have a big crowd out here watching. And David, as we toss it back into the studio to you, we'll definitely save you a snowball.
Thank you for that. I could use one. It looks great out there. Great job, guys.
I get your drift.
You always do. Social networking is a great way to keep up with your family and your friends. You can share pictures, news, experiences with just a click.
And with just another click, someone can take your pictures and start a whole new persona. You may never even know it's happening. In this WRAL investigation, why it appears the laws cannot keep up with technology. As the daughter of a photographer, And a former model, Lydia Lang has been the subject of thousands of pictures. Tall and gorgeous, who wouldn't want to be her?
It's just a very scary feeling.
Turns out someone did.
At first, I didn't think it was that serious. I just thought it was someone that had stolen my pictures.
Someone copied nearly 300 of Lydia's pictures off her Facebook page and her fashion blog and posed as a whole new person, Jenny from the internet. Side by side, you can see the real pictures on the right with Jenny's version on the left. Jenny copied Lydia's pictures, often in just minutes, reposting them with different stories and captions on at least 10 different social media sites.
The fake me, as her, is more popular than the real me, so.
In September, a fan who followed Lydia's career was the first one who realized someone was pretending to be her. When her family started digging, they realized this had been going on for more than a year, that Jenny had fans of her own and even a boyfriend. That's when Lydia panicked.
So just the fear of the unknown, if this person can harm me, if they're that obsessed and I find out, are they going to come after me? I don't sleep a lot. I dropped 10 pounds within like 2 weeks.
This former model's career is now a fashion blog. She immediately took it down.
It's just frustrating to let someone impact your life like that. Because I felt completely violated. I felt like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have myself on the internet.
Lydia and her family, including her sister Rebecca, became consumed with trying to figure out who was behind Jenny.
It's the last thing I think about when I go to sleep. I dream about it all night. It's the first thing I think about when I wake up. It is consuming.
Consuming, yeah.
After hours of investigating on their own, Lydia and Rebecca realized most of the images taken were only accessible by family and close friends. They eventually confronted the person they believed to be Jenny.
I was very calm, and I didn't accuse her. I just asked Rebecca, can you show her what someone's done?
And she puts her hands up and says, that's sick. And tried to
like we were showing her a dead body.
Even though that person denied it, within 24 hours, Lydia noticed Jenny had put a stop on some sites. And in this post, she says goodbye. Jenny is no more.
I don't think there's anything we could have done to protect it because it was somebody that was in our circle and our friends that would have seen all this anyway. It's not like we let some stranger on and they stole all this stuff.
I believe it's more common than we're aware of.
You don't need to be a computer whiz to steal someone's picture, and it may not be a crime.
If it's just a normal picture of you that's public on the internet, it can be posted anywhere, and I don't believe that a crime has been committed.
Rusty Gilmore works with Risk Management Associates. The security firm agreed to look into Lydia's case at WRAL's request. With the way the law stands now, stealing images does not equate to identity fraud.
This is different because there's no intent to steal money. You're just trying to use data and information from somebody else's life to create this new persona, this new personality. That's not like somebody breaking in your door and stealing or looking through your items criminally. But emotionally, I think it may have the same impact.
People have told us when we tell them, this happens all the time. If this happens all the time, why isn't there something in place for this?
I think it should be illegal to do something to somebody like this, to be able to sit behind a computer screen and harass someone and make them feel scared for their life. That should be illegal, you know? It's just really a terrifying thing to go through and get no help.
Lydia Lang and her family contacted 2 law enforcement agencies, including the Wake County Sheriff, and they were told they had no case. During my investigation, I talked with several other law enforcement and legal sources who had mixed thoughts on whether a crime happened in this situation. If you find someone has stolen your pictures, it may be possible to sue someone in civil court. The person may have violated copyright laws, for example. You could also contact the company, such as Facebook, and if you can prove the name with the picture is false, they may take it down, but that process could be long and involved. Also, many of these posts may happen on smaller chat rooms or sites, so do your digging and ask around, do your research, and talk to people about websites they trust before you put your images online. And if you still have questions, you can join me and an internet security expert for a live chat after our newscast. That's on WRAL.com and WRAL's Facebook page starting at 6:30. As of today, you can buy the first album by American Idol Scotty McCreery. Clear as Day hit #1 on iTunes for album downloads. It's a big week for the Garner native that included turning his school into a set for a music video.
Wait for action.
None of these students seem to mind being in class on a Saturday. That's because they're getting a chance to be in Scotty McCreery's video for his song, The Trouble with Girls. So did you ever think you'd be shooting a music video inside your high school?
Never in mind, no, I didn't. But it's nice to be here. We had a lot of options where to choose, and I said, why don't we just go to Garner and, you know, kind of shoot it with my people and my friends and people I've known for all these years. So.
All day long, the production moved through Garner High School from a science classroom to the cafeteria, and as the sun started to set, outside on the baseball field, a place where Scotty has spent a lot of time as a player. Director Roman White knew this would be the perfect spot.
So what's going to happen now? What's the next step?
We're going to do our last setup, and it is a performance with Scotty here in the middle of the field. I thought it'd be cool to do a big performance in this place that he really cares about.
For Scotty, the challenge is to make it look real.
For the most part, you can tell you're lip syncing. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's playback music playing while I'm doing it, but you have to sing too, so it looks real on the video.
Being his second music video now, he knows what to expect.
The trick is to just sing it normally, even though you're hearing it. It'll look real.
What's it like working with Scotty?
Horrible. Working with Scotty has been a nightmare. I don't know who raised him.
Watch out, Dad has a bat
Oh!
in his hand.
Hey, Scotty's handsome, not only handsome father,
That's
also
more like it. There
wonderful.
Roman White has directed hundreds of videos. His goal is to keep the mood light.
Scotty's awesome. We've had a lot of fun. I mean, everybody in the school has been amazing. I mean, everybody in Garner has been incredible. It's much different from other videos in that, you know, Scotty does know all these people. These aren't people we hired. These aren't actors or anything. I mean, these are the people that he cares about.
And even after a hectic pace the past few months of touring, promotion, and this day of 12 hours of shooting and a chill in the air, Scotty is still going strong.
How do you keep up?
I just have to do it. It's not an option.
He's 17, almost 18. That's how he keeps up.
Excellent.
Dessert made for a yummy fundraiser today. More than 450 women gathered in Cary as part of a United Way event put on by the Women's Leadership Council. The women bid money to dig into dozens of fancy cakes. The $50,000 raised here today will go to programs for teen girls to encourage the next generation of women leaders. I was honored to MC the event again this year. Yes, and today a celebration of words. It's Read Across America, and today I visited Corinth Holders Elementary in Zebulon. We read the story of Wacky Wednesday by Dr. Seuss. The goal is to get students to see that reading is important to be successful in life. We had a great time.
What's going through your head? You know, have I lost him?
Tonight on WRAL News, a hero tells his story, how he was able to save his family from a burning home, and the last-minute decision that kept his niece alive. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Debra Morgan.
And I'm Colin Browder. Gerald is off tonight. We begin with the heroic efforts that helped save a family from a burning home.
A dozen people were at the historic Edgecombe County home for Christmas. The next morning, the house was burning down around them. Tonight, we hear from one of those family members burned while making sure everyone else was out. He talked with WRAL's Adam Owens from his hospital bed in Chapel Hill.
It was like a flamethrower.
A horrifying discovery by a Fayetteville mother has turned into a murder case. 26-year-old Candace Presley was found dead the day after Christmas. Her mother went to check on her when repeated phone calls went unanswered. Presley's body was found by the door of her apartment at the Cambridge Arms complex. Her mother tells us she had been robbed. Police will not say how Presley was killed. No arrests have been made. A patient at a state psychiatric hospital has died unexpectedly. A spokeswoman with the Department of Health and Human Services confirms it happened last week at Central Regional in Butner. She said an investigation is underway. No further details were provided. 2012 will bring in higher prices at the pump for North Carolina drivers. The state gas tax is scheduled to rise about 4 cents January 1st. It's already one of the highest in the country. Congress also decided to end its federal subsidy program for ethanol. That will raise the price another 4.5 cents. So that's a total of just more than 8 cents extra per gallon starting as soon as Sunday. Retailers cashed in with record Black Friday deals, and the shopping continued throughout this month. The man known as the voice of Cameron Indoor Stadium for 40 years has died. Duke fans remember Dr. Art Chandler for his simple yet familiar call, "Here comes Duke." He died on Christmas Day at the age of 78. Tonight, we look back at how that famous phrase came about.
Here comes Duke.
From perhaps the best seat in Cameron Indoor Stadium, Art Chandler was the public address announcer during Duke games for 4 decades. He saw some of the best come running out on this court.
think a PA should not call attention to himself. Crowd can jump all over us if we make a mistake, and that's fine. And I've had my share of them, particularly early on.
It was his signature call that always riled up the Cameron crazies. Back in 2010, right before Chandler retired, Jason Jennings asked him how it came about.
Where did the "Here Comes Duke" call come from?
That was a player here by the name of Allah Abdul Nabi. And he just came over one day and he said, "Why don't you figure out some way to bring us in?" And I said, "Do you have any idea?" He says, "Oh, something simple like Here Comes Duke."
Duke head coach Mike Krzyzewski wrote this about Chandler. Art went out of his way to help mankind. He did a terrific job in his role and his service to the athletic department. He will be missed.
He will. Well, coming up, a wild police chase caught on camera, how the driver stole a police vehicle and the scary scene when the chase came to a screeching halt.
And you may remember this awful scene. Subway riders stuck for hours without heat or food last year. What they're asking for now. The finishing touches are underway for the Times Square New Year's Eve party. The final Waterford panels were installed onto the iconic crystal ball today. This year's design features friends holding hands around the world. More than 2,600 crystal triangles adorn the ball. It's 12 feet in diameter and weighs just under 12,000 pounds.
That's big.
It's about time for us to go.
All right. Thanks very much for watching, everyone.
Our next newscast is at 4:30 a.m. Have a great night, everybody. Be safe.